Hello, this is Greg from SharePoint Maven, and in today's video I would like to show you and explain you how you can improve and optimize search within your SharePoint environment. Let me explain to you what I'm talking about. So let's say you started using SharePoint, maybe perhaps you built an intranet similar to what you see on the screen. Maybe you created a bunch of team sites, migrated content, added documents, news, events, announcements, links, images, videos, and so on. And let's just say now you obviously want users to find proper content, right? Users would typically, how do users typically find content in your environment? Well, they use the search box. So let me explain to you how the regular search box works, and then I'll share with you several techniques on what you can do to improve, to improve the search results for your users. So I'm going to navigate to the SharePoint start page. And in case you're not familiar with the start page, this is the page that kind of shows you your recent activity, the sites you follow, the sites you visit on a regular basis. It also shows you a bit of activity within each and every site. But the reason I landed on this particular page is because of this search box right here. All right. What you see in the top center of the page is the search box that says search in SharePoint. This is the most powerful search box you can get in SharePoint. Essentially, remember how I was on my intranet, hub site, or maybe you can navigate to a particular, site. Those search boxes only, search those specific sites. I want to search it all right? So that's why I came here. You want to be on the SharePoint start page. And whatever you type in here in the search box will search everything in SharePoint, literally everything, as long as you have access, all right? Search is based on your, obviously on permissions, right? Security and permissions. So if you don't have access to a particular site or a particular folder, you're not going to see any results, all right? Let me just type in, the word budget. And I'm going to search for anything related to budget. Here we go. We finally got the results. So I just typed in the word budget, and here are all the results. Now, the results here are displayed, like I said, from all the different sites you have access to. Another cool thing about this particular search box that it also searches your OneDrive for Business. All right, so if you have no idea where a particular piece of content is, you do want to be once again on the SharePoint start page and utilize this search box. As you can see, it found a few results from different sites. I'm part of. It found something on my OneDrive, again some other sites, and so on. And I guess I have a lot of budget documents. All right. Now the way that the results are prioritized on this and appear on this search results page, they depend on your activities in SharePoint, all right? So they're not just randomly displayed. So they actually, there is a logic behind the scenes. So essentially, Microsoft, SharePoint tracks your activities and presents results according to your activities in SharePoint. So if, for example, you recently modified a budget document, it would be on top of the other results. All right, so it does prioritize the results based on your activities. So if you have way too much content that matches a particular keyword, again, the results are prioritized based on user activities. But here is a use case for you. Let's just say I want to, maybe let's say we're dealing with human resources department, right? Or communications, marketing, and we have lots and lots of different, employee schedules and employee handbooks, stuff like that. And when, we want our users to find, that particular content, right? If they don't know how to navigate to it and find it on the website, we want them to find it through search. Well, the problem is that when you search for something, right, it might just give you lots of irrelevant kind of results. And what if we want to promote a certain type of result? So luckily it is possible, and that's essentially what I'm going to show you. There are several ways to promote results in a SharePoint, so I'm going to demonstrate how to set it up. It actually works in a similar way to what Google does, right? You know, when you perform a Google search, right? And if you sponsor some results, right? If you pay Google some money, you know, some of the results will be promoted on the top. Same idea here. Same idea here. Essentially, you can go ahead and you know, do a bit of setup behind the scenes, and certain results will be promoted you know, for you, and will be, you know, will appear above all the other results. Let me show you first how it works, and then I'll you know, go behind the scenes and we'll set it up together. So once again, I'm back on my SharePoint start page right here, and I'm going to search in SharePoint right now. And let's say I'm a new employee and I'm interested in holiday calendar, or you know what, I'm looking for employee handbook. So I just type in the word handbook. And look at this. So it does give me a bunch of, you know, results, right? Different documents that have a, you know, particular, you know, this particular keyword inside of them, and maybe in the file name and so on. But it also, right on top, on the very top, it gives me this promoted result. All right. So, and it gives me the official employee handbook, the URL I need to access to, and even a bit of you know, kind of description, user-friendly description, looking for employee handbook, you know, here we go. All right, and you can contact such and such, you know, in case if you find any issues. So a pretty user-friendly experience. And you know, the user essentially all they have to do is just, you know, click on the link, and here it is. Here is our employee handbook. So how do we set it up? Well, let me demonstrate this for you. Now, before I proceed, I want to mention that there are several techniques I'm going to show you in this video. There are actually four of them. I will show you how to set up bookmarks. All right, these are called bookmarks. I will show you how to set up Q&A, questions and answers. I will show you how to set up acronyms. You know how in your organization you can have all this weird acronyms and nobody knows what they mean? Well, you can set them up. I will demonstrate that. And finally, I will show you how to set up search verticals. All right, these things right here. All right, so I will actually explain to you what this all about and how to set them up. One other thing worth mentioning, and I guess it's super important, for pretty much all of these techniques, you do need to be a SharePoint admin, all right? If you're a regular site owner, there is going to be just one technique you can implement, but majority, like in order to alter the search results, global search results for all of your employees, you do need to be SharePoint admin, and actually, as a matter of fact, also have access to the SharePoint, you know, Search and Intelligence Center. So super important. So if you do not have such a role, you will not be able to, you know, to kind of set it up. Just wanted to mention that. All right, let's go behind the scenes. So in order to alter the results and set up all these different techniques, we need to go to the admin center right here, and let me just make sure it loads right here. And under show all, you do get to see kind of the most important, I guess, frequent admin centers, but the one we want is called Search and Intelligence Center. So we need to click on all admin centers, and the one we want is right here, Search and Intelligence. All right. And essentially, you know, there is a lot more than just setting up all this different, you know, bookmarks and everything in here. This is essentially an admin center where you can get all the different analytics, what people are searching for, and all that stuff. I actually recorded another video on my YouTube channel explaining how this works. But in our case, the tab you want to click is the Answers tab, and this is where you can configure the various, you know, techniques I just mentioned to you. Now we will start with bookmarks. So after you clicked on the answers tab, we have all these different tabs on the left-hand side. We'll come back to acronyms. Let's start with bookmarks. Now, when you click on bookmarks, you're already going to see kind of a list of all this default bookmarks that Microsoft created for you. And let me just utilize one of them. Let's just say we're going to search for Word, right? They already created this for us. I guess they just listed all these different applications. So I'm going to type in the word. All right, and look what happens. Essentially, yeah, it just points us to this Word application. So essentially, they already created all these different bookmarks for us, this various shortcuts, I guess. But we are going to create our own. And by the way, just to show you, so it's a pretty long list of all this out of the box, bookmarks. But I already created one here. You see, actually, as a matter of fact, before we build one, before we create something new, let's go ahead and test it out. I'll just show you how it works. So let's say I'm looking for an official schedule, holiday schedule, and you don't really have to. That's actually the cool thing. You don't need to type in the whole kind of string, the whole keyword. It could be just a portion of the keyboard. I'll actually demonstrate how to set it up. But let's just say I'm looking for schedule, right? Holiday schedule, or some people call it holiday schedule. Some people call it just holiday, whatever. But look at this. The result was promoted, for me. And if I click on it, I guess, yeah, it just goes to this particular, document, but it could be maybe a SharePoint page, with a calendar or something like that. But the bottom line is essentially, this is what the bookmark will render in search results. As you can see, it still displays all the other, kind of search results that match this particular, keyword, I guess. But obviously, the promoted result appears right on top. So let's go ahead and set it up. Let's just say we're going to go back to the Admin Center. Let's create a new bookmark. Let me first give you a quick use case of the bookmark we're going to create. Let's go to our internet portal. Here is the use case. Let's just say we have all these different policies within our organization, and they all reside on this internet portal. But you know what? I want my users to easily find this particular policy document, vehicle policy, right, about borrowing company vehicles or something like that. So I want to make sure when they type in maybe the word, I don't know, auto or vehicle or whatever it is, into the search box, this will be front and center. Essentially, this will be the promoted result. All right, so we'll promote this policy. Let's make it happen. So let's go back to our SharePoint Search and Intelligence Center. Again, you click on the Answers tab and Bookmarks, and then we're going to create our new bookmark. And it kind of on top right here, it actually shows you a bit of preview as we populate this information. Over here, it will kind of render in the, and will show you how it will appear in the search results. So I'm going to just call it auto policy, all right, something like that. All right, so just like that. And this is the URL. This is the URL we want to appear, to point to the user. So let's grab that URL. I'm going to copy the URL to that policy document, copy a link. And you know what? I want to make sure by default, and this is, I'm pretty sure it's the same within your organization because this is a default settings. It by default always generates the people in the organization can edit link. I obviously don't want my users to edit, right? This is a read-only site and library, so I'm going to tweak that, and I'm going to say can view only. All right. I can also do this can download, which is convenient, right? Maybe I want them to view but not download, but that's okay here. So I'm going to apply, And yeah, essentially the link was copied. I'm going to now go to my admin center and paste that URL just like that. All right, and here under description, we can provide, what auto policy for our organization. All right, we'll just do that, and then all right. This is super important right here, all right? The keywords and reserved keywords. Let me explain to you the difference between the two. So the keywords are just the keywords that the users might, type in into the search box. Remember, for example, when I showed you demonstrated the employee handbook, right? I just type in the word handbook, right? Or maybe another keyword would be employee handbook. Or for the schedule, right, it could be holiday schedule or just schedule, company holidays, all those different keywords. So the keywords is essentially what people will type in into the search box. So let me type in a few. So I'm going to maybe say car rental, all right, just like that. Maybe company vehicle. All right. Maybe you know what? Let me just add another one, just vehicle. All right. Maybe when people type it, the users type in the word vehicle, it will also match it against this particular document. All right. So these are the keywords. Reserved keywords, and it actually tells you a little bit of description over here what the difference between the two is, the regular keywords and reserved keywords. Let me explain it to you. So you might utilize those keywords for a bunch of things, right? You maybe utilize it for this particular bookmark, maybe some other bookmarks, maybe some other Q&As, questions and answers. The reserved keyword has to be unique, all right? So if you want to absolutely match, all right, 100%, if users type in this a particular keyword and you want this particular result, it has to be a reserved keyword. All right. So in our case, you know what? Let's just type in auto policy because I think that's what people will type in most of the time. All right. Perfect. And you can have multiple reserved keywords, but reserved keywords cannot be the regular keywords as well. Right. It has to be unique. All right. Next, you can add in the kind of categories. This will just help you filter your different bookmarks in the list. Let's not worry about it, all right? What I do want to show you is this section at the bottom, and this is super powerful. All right, so by default, if I click publish right now, essentially my bookmark will be published and available to everyone. But let's just say you're part of, I don't know, global organization. You have offices all over, all over the world. And you know what? Maybe this auto policy only applies to offices in US. All right. Maybe you have a different, maybe you don't have this policy in Europe or Canada. All right. Or maybe likewise, when users type in holiday schedule, for example, right? You want users in US to get one result. You want users in Europe to get a different result. Well, you can actually customize quite a bit here at this bottom section. All right. You can actually choose specific dates when the search results will be present, all right? When the search results will be promoted. Country or region. So by default, it publishes this bookmark to all the countries and regions, but you know what? You can actually be very specific, all right? So once again, maybe this particular policy applies to only US or Canada, all right? And then, yeah, I mean, it's all pretty self-explanatory. You can actually publish this bookmark to everyone in your organization, or maybe certain specific, groups. These are just could be your security groups, Microsoft 365, security groups, or maybe your Active Directory groups. All right. Even by devices. I mean, so yeah, there is a bit of configuration involved here. I think the most frequent one, right, that you might benefit if you are a larger, corporation, right, you might just utilize the different countries and regions to publish different results. In any case, let's pretend we set this up. All you have to do is just click the publish button. All right. And essentially you will notice the our bookmark created. Now what's actually cool is that the results are pretty much available right away. The usually when you make a change in SharePoint, it does take a while for for whatever configuration you did to propagate and be available. With bookmarks, it's pretty much instant. So I just published this, policy. I'm sorry, this bookmark. Let's go ahead and test it out. So I'm going to navigate back to the SharePoint start page, and let me just type in auto policy. Remember, we set this up. Let's see if it comes up. All right, and just like that. Look at this. It gives me all these other results, right, where it matches different keywords. But look at this. It does promote this particular policy right on top of the other results. And, here it is. All right, here it is. Likewise, what was the other keyword? I think I did rental, right? Car rental or something. Let's try it out. Remember, I set up all these different keywords. Once again, look at this. All right, even though I typed in the word car rental, right, I don't have any results, kind of documents matching this particular keywords, but I did set up this particular bookmark, and that's what we are seeing here, promoted right on top of the other results. So that was the first technique on how you can improve and optimize search results in SharePoint. You would set up bookmarks. Let's now go ahead and let me demonstrate the second feature that's available, the second technique that's available, and you can set up Q&A, questions and answers. Right here, it appears under the Answers tab once again. We click on Q&A. Now, remember, with bookmarks, we kind of had this default list of bookmarks from Microsoft. With Q&A, your list will be empty. Your list will be empty, all right? And essentially, these are just the two, I guess, questions already set up. And let me actually show you how this works, all right? So I already did this handbook example, remember, and how to change password, right? Nobody knows. So let's go ahead and, for example, I need to change password just like that. And look at this. It actually provides me with instructions on how to do that, all right? And you can point to a specific URL. You can also provide some additional information right in here. What you are seeing here is Q&A, all right? So somebody asks a question and gets an answer. All right, so let me show you how to set that up. So here is a use case for you. Let's just say, once again, we're working in HR and maybe we want everyone, right? Everyone is asking the question about some benefits enrollments, deadline, all right? So we want to provide an easy answer for our employees. So that's a question, when is the benefits enrollment? And I want to provide a specific answer, all right? So let's make it happen. I'm going to add a question over here. Now, what's interesting is that it kind of looks similar. The interface kind of looks similar to, to that of bookmarks, right? It's almost like we're filling the same stuff here. The primary difference between bookmarks and Q&A is that bookmarks are pretty much, just bookmarks, right? Remember, there was a specific keyword and then a URL we had to provide, and that was about it. The difference between Q&A and bookmarks is that Q&A allows you to also add description. So URL is not that important. You can still provide a URL maybe to some document or to some calendar, right? In our case, but the idea behind Q&A is that you pretty much get the answer within that box that appears, all right? The idea is that, yeah, it's more for Q&A than bookmarks, are just for some URLs, some pages, some documents. The idea behind Q&A is that you provide an answer right on the spot, all right? Let's just say I'm going to provide this title. And once again, as I type things in, right, you will kind of see the preview of how it will render to our users. So I'm going to, uh, call it just like that. All right. URL is optional. All right. We can still provide it if we had maybe a document or calendar. We can still type it in, but we want to provide the answer right away here. Uh, Deadline to enroll is June 1st, 2024, for example. All right. And the bottom section is actually, pretty much the same as for the bookmarks, right? We can, first of all, we have to provide the keywords and reserved keywords. Same idea, right? Keywords could be different, multiple different keywords that users type in, and reserved keywords have to be unique. So let me just do a few, I guess. So for reserved keyword, I want to type in the word benefits. All right, that's kind of important. All right, and then for regular keywords, maybe we want to type in enrollment, deadline. We can type in some other keywords here as well, but I think this is sufficient for this particular demo. And once again, we can target to certain groups and dates and all that. Let's not worry about it. So I'm just going to, and by the way, right on top, you do get to see how results will render. I mean, obviously, right, you can add a little bit more text. Maybe it will look a little bit more pretty, but again, for demo purposes, I think that's fine. We are going to click publish. And you are going to see the essentially the the answer appear in the list right away. And just like with bookmarks, it publishes it pretty much instantly. All right, so you don't have to wait. Let's go ahead and test it out. So I'm going to type in, remember one of those keywords, but let's just type in the word benefits. Oh, look at this. Right away, it gives me the answer right here. So as you can see, super powerful techniques. You can set up, essentially Q&A for, questions and answers and provide the answer right on the spot. Or in case of bookmarks, the previous technique I showed you, you can, point users to different URLs, pages, documents, and so on. So now I'm going to show you technique number 3. Kind of similar, but a bit different, all right? So we covered bookmarks, we covered Q&A. Next, we're going to cover acronyms. All right, I'm sure every organization has an acronym of some sort, right? And that's maybe unique, maybe generic to the industry, but also maybe kind of unique to the organization. And let's say I'm a new employee and I have no idea what that acronym means. Well, guess what? You can set up, just like we could set up bookmarks and questions and answers, you can also set up acronyms, and they're all going to be searchable, and they will explain what these acronyms mean. Let me provide you a few use cases I already set up. So when you click on acronyms, again, it's going to be an empty list. You will have to add your own acronyms. So I already set up a few. For example, and that was actually a real use case. I was once working for kind of a large organization, and I joined them, and everyone started using this keyword called FIMS. I had no idea what it meant. All right, well, because I didn't have SharePoint, I guess, back then, and SharePoint Search and Intelligence Center. But let me show you how that works. So let's say I have no idea what what the acronym means. I just type it in, and look at this. It tells me it's an acronym, and it explains to me that apparently it stands for Financial Information Management Systems. So let me show you how to set it up. The process is very similar. Let's go back to SharePoint and Admin Search and Intelligence Center. And to set up a new acronym, you just add acronym. Once again, kind of similar process. I guess it's a simpler window than bookmarks and Q&A, a little bit less to fill out. So I'm just going to do something like this. You probably have no idea what this stands for. Well, it stands for American Gas Association. All right. And you can provide additional description here. All right. Let's just like that. All right. And even more additional information, maybe a website or something like that. And once again, as you populate the information, you see a preview. So it's actually going to look quite nicely after we publish it. Let's publish it. All right. And now I'm not going to be able to show you this particular result. Remember, with bookmarks and Q&A, it was instantly published. It does take 7 hours, I guess, for it to appear. It does tell us that, but we'll just click close. It does appear in the list. So let's, once again, it's definitely not going to work right now, but let's just give it a try. Yeah, it's not going to find anything. But remember, I had another acronym right here, SPM, stands for, guess what, SharePoint Maven. All right, so this were acronyms. The third, technique that you can utilize to make your search results, a little bit more user-friendly for your employees. So I just demonstrated 3 out of 4 techniques I wanted to show you. Before I demonstrate the last one, the technique number 4, I just wanted to mention something about the acronyms, bookmarks, and Q&As. So remember when I showed you how to set them up, we kind of went in here and we added a question or a bookmark or acronym manually. You don't have to edit manually, either. All right. If you, let's say, have a list of, maybe Q&As already, all right, or bookmarks somewhere in Excel, what you can do is you can import them. All right. And essentially, first you download the sample CSV file here. All right. And then you just fill it out, and it will be pretty simple kind of setup, right? It will list all the information you manually populate in Excel, and column by column, and you just make sure you fill out that CSV and just import it back. And it's a quick way for you to add all these different acronyms and bookmarks and Q&As that you have within your organization. So you can obviously do it manually, just like I showed you, or you can always import them in bulk, so super convenient. Now, the next technique, the last technique I want to show you in this video related to improving the search experience is going to be a bit different, all right? So the bookmarks, acronyms, and Q&A, we kind of had to be in the Search and Intelligence Center to set that up, and they were kind of global. We also have the ability to create something called, or customize something called search verticals that will also improve your user's search experience. Let me demonstrate to you what I'm talking about. And you know what? I'm probably going to do it right here. So once again, I'm back at the SharePoint start page, and I'm doing something super generic, just looking for a budget document. And obviously, it gives me a bunch of results, Excel's full, documents, folders, maybe some pages, whatever matches this particular criteria. And on top, I have all these different tabs that essentially, allow me to filter this further. And in our case, right, I'm probably not going to get any results, but let's just say if I had any news that mentioned the word budget, let's just see. No, I don't. You know what? Let's just do something else. I'm going to type in the word vacation. So as you can see, right, it gives me a bunch of results, documents and list items and pages and so on. So I want to be able to, oh, by the way, here is our promoted result, all right? That's awesome. So I want to be able to filter. For example, I only want the files, all right? Cool, I have this tab that allows me to filter for those results. So you know what? I only want the news that mentioned this particular keyword. Look at this. I do have apparently a news post on my site about vacation policy. So these things right here, these tabs right here, they are called search verticals. And they allow you to, they allow you the users, right, to filter it further, right? When you have so many results, but you know what, if I'm only looking for documents or news or maybe people or images, right? It just filters it across. I mean, we have kind of the same experience in Google, right? When you Google something, right? You know how you can filter on top and say, I want to see all results or just images or, news or videos, right? Same idea, same idea. So once again, these things are called search verticals. And luckily, we can customize them. All right. So out of the box, what you see is what you get. All right. But you can also customize and hide some of them and add your own. All right. So that's essentially what I'm going to show you right now. Now, the cool thing about this particular search vertical thing is that remember with bookmarks and acronyms and Q&As, we had to be in the search and intelligence admin center. This we can customize at the global level for the whole organization, or we can customize it at the site level. All right, so if you want to alter the search results for the whole organization, you obviously need to have access to the, to the Search and Intelligence Admin Center, and I'll show you how that works. But I suspect most of the users are just going to be site owners, right? Most of you are going to be just the site owners, and you might want to create a unique experience and a particular search vertical right on your site. So the good thing is you don't need to be the SharePoint admin to do that. You just need to be the owner, the admin of your site. So here I am. I am on this board site, and there is a reason why I actually landed on this particular site. I'll show you in a second, but just wanted to show you. Yeah, if you are the member of the site, you will not be able to alter the search experience. You have to be the owner of the site, and I am. All right, and let me first demonstrate how it works, and then I'll show you how to set it up. So let me just see. I believe let me just type in the word policy right here. So look at this. I'm on this board site, right? I'm not searching everything. I'm searching just my site, and I typed in the word policy. And it gives me everything that matches this keyword, right? Folders, Word documents, and some PDFs, I guess, and so on. All right. Well, I only want my users to see PDFs. All right. When they type in a particular document, this is, I know it's maybe you will have a little bit more sophisticated scenario, but I only want the results to be PDFs. Nothing else. And you can do that. And actually, I already did this. I'll show you how to set it up, but it does take some time for it to propagate. So we're not going to wait here. But I do want to show you how it works. If you notice, I'm getting all these different search verticals here. And typically, you get more. And the reason for that is because I altered, all right? I actually hid some of them, and I created my own. All right, and it's called PDF search. And look at this. When I click on this tab, when I click on this search vertical, it filters everything else out. It just leaves the PDFs. All right, exactly what I wanted. So let me show you how to make it happen. I'll show you how to alter the search verticals and create your own custom one. So once again, for that, you need to navigate to your site. Once again, you have to be the owner of the site. Gear icon, site information. We're going behind the scenes, view all site settings. And you're going to see all this, mostly classic settings for a SharePoint site. You are going to also see Microsoft Search at the bottom. So you click on Search, Insights, and Configuration. And yeah, you get some statistics and trends, I guess, search queries on your site. But what we're after is this right here, verticals. So you click on verticals. Now, what you're going to see, you're going to see a bunch of these verticals. These are default, verticals, those tabs that you see on top, all right, when people search for stuff. And if you notice, all of them will be enabled by default, but if you noticed, I actually hid some of them, all right? Remember how I had sites and news and images on this, in this example, I hid all of this, all right? I hid all of this. So let's go back. And I actually already created one, the custom, that PDF search I just demonstrated to you. I created it already in the past. But let me walk you through the process and demonstrate to you how to create a new vertical. Let me just open this up in a separate tab just so that we can also see it in here as well. All right. So all right. So to create a new vertical, you just click Add. All right, and just give it a name. Now, I'm going to proceed with the same example. Let's say we're setting up a vertical where it only displays as the PDF documents, right? Obviously, it could be something else in your case, maybe documents within a particular date, maybe documents containing specific keyword and so on. I'm going to just call it PDF search 2. Just give it a unique name. Click next. And this is what we're searching. I mean, in our case, we're obviously searching SharePoint, so just choose SharePoint Radio button. Click next. Now, this is the most important kind of tab over here, okay, screen. This is where you specify the, kind of the query. And it's KQL query, and it stands for Keyword Query Language, all right? In case if you're not familiar with it, I actually have a number of articles right on my blog, and you can, essentially check out the specifics. I mean, this is where we rely on managed metadata and actually, I'm sorry, managed properties, all right? And this is where you really have to be familiar with, various managed properties and, the KQL query, syntax. And it actually gives you a choice of different properties. Those managed properties you can utilize in your query. But you know what? In our case, I'm going to remember I'm only doing the I'm doing the search for PDFs. So just like that. All right, this is the KQL query when you want to limit results to PDFs. Now, you can use Boolean operators and maybe type in another string here and maybe search for a particular keyword within those documents, so maybe specific dates. Once again, if you want to look up the syntax, I have plenty of content on my blog. But let's keep it simple. So that's what I'm searching for. Click next. This is where you can specify the filters. And just to show you what the filters are, let me just show you what it means by filters. Right here, those filters, you see? So you can, filter by different file types and dates. If you want to add your own custom filter, once again, you have to be familiar with, with a specific managed property that maybe you want to filter by. All right. This is optional, by the way, so let's keep it simple. But I wanted to show you that you can also add those drop-down filters in there. and click next. Yeah, I mean, it's just a summary page. Now, you do need to enable it. All right, by default, it's disabled, and you just enable it and click Create Vertical. Now, it's going to appear in the list, but it's not going to be available right away. All right, it tells us, yeah, it's all good, but it's not going to appear on our as you can see, right, it doesn't appear. Let me just test it again. And let's see. Yeah, it's going to take a while, for it. Usually, I think up to 24 hours for it to appear, but it will appear over here. All right. So that's how you create those search verticals. One more thing I wanted to mention. So remember, you can also hide those, out of the box ones. All right. So for example, I don't want this, default files tab to even appear, right? I want to hide it. Not a problem. Just click the edit button. Now you cannot delete the out of the box, out of the box verticals. All right, you can just disable them. So you would just do this and click update, and it again, it takes up to 24 hours for it to take effect, but it will be hidden. All right, but you cannot delete. Very important. So as you can see, look, I chose this particular one. I cannot delete it. The custom ones that you do create, you can delete them. All right. So something really important. And yeah, just again, I think I showed this to you already. Essentially, when you type something in, you search for it, right? A bunch of results, but remember, I just want PDFs. Here we go. Now, the last thing I wanted to mention about those search verticals. So I showed it to you how to set it up on a given site, and that probably will be the case for most of you, right? However, your SharePoint administrators, they have access to the, remember, to the global admin center, to the search and intelligence center. And just like you can modify, alter the results on your individual site, your SharePoint admins can also alter those tabs in here. So if you maybe wanted to create a global experience and maybe pull certain documents right from all over the place and display them in one of those different tabs based on the particular search keyword, your admins can do that. It's pretty much the same steps. All right, let me show you where your admin needs to go to access that area. So in the Search and Intelligence Center, they would click on Customizations tab right here, and yeah, verticals right here, all right, on the left, and same screens, all right, same screens, same setup, right? They can hide out of the box ones, they can create their own, and it's pretty much it's pretty much the same thing that we just did at the site level. So these were the four, techniques I wanted to demonstrate to you on how you can optimize search. Once again, just to kind of repeat those, we covered the bookmarks, we covered Q&A, we covered acronyms, and we also covered search verticals. Now, let me actually go to my blog now. And first of all, if you if you want to learn about any of these techniques that I showed to you, and you want to get more information, I have plenty of resources on my blog. Feel free to check it out. Let me actually show you. I did publish the blog post on the keyword query language. Let me just find it for you right here. And yeah, right here. So I do have a pretty detailed article on KQL where I provide different examples of various searches you can you can execute. So definitely, if you are going to build verticals, search verticals, you definitely will need those. A couple of other things I wanted to show you. So let me actually find that article. I actually did publish an article some time ago on the same techniques that we cover today, all right? And even though you can obviously view this video, you might want to reference this blog post. And the reason for that is because I actually have pretty much detailed step-by-step instructions for each of those techniques. So, bookmarks and Q&As and everything, all right? So I link to those individual articles in here if you want to learn more about those. Now, ironically, this blog, when I wrote it some time ago, I called it 5 ways to optimize search. And the subject of this video, right, the title of this video is 4 ways to improve, right, search. Why is that? Let me explain. So the option number 5 I listed back then was to set up Viva Topics. And let me show you, actually it was one of my favorite methods to kind of improve search. Let me show you how it works. So I'm going to navigate to Viva Topics, and I think I need to type it in. All right, just like that. So Viva Topics, was or is, I guess, depending on how you look at it, it's kind of a separate application where your knowledge managers could create, all these different topics that would essentially contain certain information about a particular topic, a project, right? Maybe some description, some files, people involved, and all that stuff. All right. And the idea here was that, let me show you, there are multiple benefits to this Viva Topics thing, but let me show you. So essentially what you ended up with were these different, topics cards or topics pages that contained all this information. And let me just see if it still works. Let me just type it in. All right. All right, so apparently maybe it doesn't work anymore. Let me try something else just to, let's try company rebranding. Maybe let's see if that works. All right, so, and I will explain to you. Yeah, here we go. Look at this. Okay, kind of looks similar to the promoted results, right? If you notice, this particular topic, it gives me, some information about that particular topic. And it was essentially, the idea behind those was that you would create all these different topics, and this information would be available from Teams and Yammer and Outlook, and essentially if somebody mentions a particular topic, you could hover over the topic card and it would display all this additional information. Likewise, in search, if you search for something, it would be a promoted, right? If I search for the keyword that matches that particular topic, essentially that result will be promoted on top of the, of the other results. And actually, yeah, right here, what I was trying to show you this right here. So that's how it looked like, all right? It was actually almost like a promoted result, and nice looking one too. Gave you the topic and then alternative names and people involved and files involved. So that's how it looked like. Now the reason I did not cover it in this particular video is because recently Microsoft decided to retire Viva Topics. All right, so it's still kind of available in your kind of organization, but it's pretty much going to be replaced by, this functionality will be replaced by Copilot. All right. So with that being said, I decided not to cover this, topic in here because once again, it's going to be retired and no longer relevant. But in case if you read this article and you discover kind of the discrepancy between, number of options I covered in the blog versus this video, that's why. And before I end this video, just also wanted to, tell you that in case, you find, this, difficult to set up or don't have, time to set it up, or you might have some other SharePoint needs, I will be more than happy to help you with your SharePoint environment. I do provide a number of services. You can check them out right on my website. I do provide hourly consulting if you have, questions, certain questions that need to be answered. If you need assistance with your SharePoint intranet, I do help organizations build intranet portals, and you can check out, the pricing and the packages right on my website. I help organizations with SharePoint document management and governance. The search optimization is a big one. Essentially, that's what I kind of explained to you in this particular video. But in case if you need a hand with optimizing SharePoint in terms of, the search experience and search results, we'll be happy to assist you there. And finally, I do also help organizations with, regulatory compliance and setting up proper retention and records management policies. In addition, I do provide lots of training. I'm pretty big. For those of you who follow my blog, I'm pretty big on training. I offer lots of live training options and on-demand training options. So definitely feel free to check it out right on my website. But for now, thank you very much for watching this particular video. Hopefully you found it informative. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And happy to see you on my YouTube channel in the future. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.